Welcome back everyone. We get to finally talk about one of my favorite iPhones, probably my most favorite iPhone I've ever used, and see how it holds up in the later part of 2021. And this specific iPhone is the iPhone 11 Pro. Now this was the last iPhone I just used. I haven't even switched over to my 13 Pro yet, but what I can tell you is that in so many different ways, this iPhone is still not only completely worth it right now in the later part of 2021, but this phone I think is still going to be worth it 2, 3, possibly even 4 years from now, depending on how Apple goes ahead and improves their iPhone lifecycle in the next couple of years. Now, one of the biggest things that's changed with this iPhone, there's two main things: iOS 15 and the new iPhones, the iPhone 13s. And luckily for you guys, I've already compared the iPhone 13s against the iPhone 11 Pros. So if you want to see those comparisons, those will be linked down below, or you can just search up like iPhone 13 versus iPhone 11 Pro. I'm sure you can find my videos that way. On top of that, with iOS 15, I've already installed iOS 15 on almost all of my iPhones. And what's crazy is that the iPhone 11 Pro, I will tell you, it does handle iOS 15 pretty decently, but there's a big thing with iOS 15 that I would still recommend not installing it on this iPhone. iOS 14 is more optimal and is so much better in so many different ways, so that's probably the better way I would go. Stick with iOS 14, but if you have to, or if you're already on iOS 15, I guess it's okay. But from my experience, even on my iPhone 11 Pro, it hasn't been the most stable experience, but that makes me excited for the future. You know, this iPhone is going to be supported for so many years that even if you were to pick this thing up next year or a year after that, you're still going to be getting software support. So those are pretty much the main things that kind of happened with this phone. The price tag also went down a little bit in the used market, mostly because of the iPhone 13s. So typically if you wait, I think around that like March timeframe, if you're waiting to buy one and you want the best price for it, I think March would probably, February, March, after more people end up getting the iPhone 13s and after the holiday shortage and all those iPhones not being shipped and all that stuff, you should be able to pick some iPhone 11 Pros up for much cheaper in the used market. Now on top of that, the body still holds up extremely well. It still looks very beautiful. Even though it doesn't have a 120Hz panel, it still looks very good. There's really not too many problems with it either, which is another big advantage of it. But on top of that, the performance is so good. I compared this thing to the iPhone 13 Pros and all the other iPhones too, and the iPhone 11 Pro is still very, very fast. It's not a slow iPhone, and I don't even think iOS 15 inherently slowed this thing down. I think it just kind of is a byproduct of installing the latest version on an older iPhone. So I'll definitely tell you, if you're wanting an iPhone that's still going to be, performance heavy and everything, this is definitely going to be the better way to go. On top of that, the camera quality is still great. The battery life is still pretty good, but I did do a battery test on all my iPhones on iOS 15 compared to the iPhone 13s, and I will tell you, iOS 15 did take a huge toll on this battery life. So as I mentioned, if you're somebody who's going to go and buy an iPhone, 11 Pro, staying on iOS 14 is probably going to get you the better battery life as well. So that's another big thing to keep in mind. But ultimately, I think this phone is still completely worth it. I think it's a beautiful phone in so many different ways, and I definitely do think if you're going to go and buy an iPhone and pick it up, this is a really good option. It's definitely not a cheap iPhone. If you want a cheaper one, you can buy an iPhone 11 in the brand new market even for $499, but the 11 Pro is literally still a perfect iPhone in so many ways, and I'm still a huge fan of it for sure. So in terms of that covers it up here. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.